Okay, next we're going to talk about even more infinity. The matrix goes on and on, just like you've heard. Okay, I'm sorry. I had to make some reference. No, the matrix is a monster, and here's why. You have the ability over here. Okay, so let me tell you a story. When I first saw the matrix on the MatrixBrute, I thought, okay, well, where can you direct modulation? Let's see. Okay, the VCO one pitch. Oh, that's good. Oh, and then all of the wave functions. Oh, and then VCO 2 pitch, and then all of the wave functions. Okay, that's cool, but like 8 of these are taken up by just oscillator wave shaping. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you could direct this to, and then we just have 2 cutoffs. And then LFO1 amount, that's pretty cool. You can control the amount that LFO1 affects something that it's connected to. That's pretty cool. And then the VCA. Like, well, there's a master cutoff here. And what about some of these other things that you're just limited to those things? Well, I guess that's fine. But, okay, so that's not what's happening here. We have these four more functions that we get to choose what we modulate. So it's not just these things. It's pretty much anything with a knob or a slider over here you can modulate. And that is something really cool. You can make, interesting choices like, let's see. Okay, here's how you make the selection. Hold down the button and then turn the knob you want to modulate. How about this? Okay, and then the screen changes, and you see 13 controls VCO1 mod sine square, which is to say this section over here. Now, we could, for example, take an LFO, make the connection. The LFO is controlling whether this is the sub bass is a sine or a square to the amount that we decide. So let's just listen to sub bass. Right now, LFO1 with its sine wave is controlling the wave shape of the sub bass. So you can, that's a pretty cool thing. You could put it, let's see, on sample and hold. Okay, so then, basically I've made a choice about something that could be modulated simply by holding down the button and turning the knob. You might say to yourself, hey, Mark, I noticed there's no way to control the master cutoff other than grabbing the master cutoff. And I would say to you, that's not true. Watch. Here, we'll use 13 again. Hold down the button, turn master cutoff. The screen changes. All of a sudden, 13 is now in control of master cutoff. So if we want to modulate the master cutoff, first of all, let's do something interesting. Turn up the sawtooths on oscillator 1 and 2. We'll put them through to both filters. We'll set both filters to bandpass. Turn the resonance way out. And let's set this to band. Let's hear both of them. Oh, that's wild. Okay, so we've got a band pass in both filters. And so now we can modulate the master cutoff, let's say, with mod wheel. Let's hear how that sounds. Maybe not so much. And we could do it in negative too. So yeah, you basically can control almost anything. In fact, let's get rid of that. And let's control, for example, the release function on envelope 2. So now, if we again we can modulate this with anything, but with these particular modulation sources, but I'm going to use mod wheel just because it's quick. Okay, so then I have connected, I have chosen envelope 2 release for 13, and I've connected the mod wheel to envelope release. So now if we want to, we can either have a short ending or a long one. So I'm just giving you some examples of, how far we can take this. Pretty much anything that is a knob or a slider over here, you can modulate with these functions. And that is, again, we just head straight into infinity with this. I love it when I can demonstrate every function. I mean, that's kind of what I do in these videos. So this is frustrating for me because you could apply anything to anything. And for me to demonstrate anything to anything, this video series would be even longer than it's going to be. So there is a level of, if you want to find out what happens when you use, the rounded sample and hold to modify both the, sustain and decay of the filter, of the envelopes applied to the filter, or whatever. I mean, anything you can think of, you can do it. And we're not even done here. And that's one of the most frightening things. I'm going to get us back to 0 just so there's no confusion. You might notice, like, when you turn the synthesizer on, you'll see over here, it'll say 13 mod amount A1, 14 mod amount A1, 15 mod amount A1. What the heck is this talking about? Well, as if it wasn't already powerful enough. Okay, like I told you, when you use the matrix, you make a selection and then you choose an amount, right? Well, what if you made a selection, chose an amount, and you wanted to modulate that amount? So if I choose, I'm going to choose A1. Okay, so I'm going to choose A1, right? And that's applying envelope 1 to the pitch of VCO1. Well, and then I choose the amount. What if I wanted to change that amount? Well, I could turn the knob. I could modulate the knob. That's fine. I could do that, but maybe I would rather something else did that modulation. In that case, I would, just like we just saw, I would hold down the button, hold down this button, and then choose A1, which is already chosen, but I'm just doing it for demonstration. So now anything that I put in this column as a modulation source will modulate the amount that envelope 1 affects VCO1. So again, I'll just do the simple thing and choose the mod wheel. Here, let's get this amount down to 0 so we can hear a difference. Okay, that was -5. Whoops. Okay, so now we don't hear envelope 1 modulating VCO1, but since we now have the mod wheel controlling it, we can. So whatever you use the mod wheel, whatever setting that is, will affect, it will modulate the amount that envelope 1 modulates VCO1. Does that make sense? It breaks my brain talking about it. I have to sit and think about, okay, what am I doing? But basically, you are assigning this 13th column to control how much whatever modulation is affecting whatever destination. That's what you're doing. And so not only can you choose other functions to manipulate, to modulate with these sources, you can choose connections to modulate with whatever you choose. Does that make sense? Because it blows my mind every time I talk about it. We could also just use LFO to change this. Anyway, so, yeah. I'm going to recap. I'm going to say it one more time. You can select different functions not listed as destinations using these buttons by holding down the button and turning a knob or moving a slider. Or you can choose connections to modulate with these modulation sources. So you can, you can use the LFO to modulate the amount that envelope 1 modulates VCO1. So yeah, so try to imagine the possibility with this many modulation sources affecting all of these connections, or even some of these connections. You can use it to modulate if this, yeah. So it's almost recursive. It goes on forever. It's infinite. You can modulate, you can choose new modulation sources, or you can use these to modulate connections made elsewhere in the matrix. Okay, does that make sense? I hope so, because it's blowing my mind. Okay.